Hello, hello. Can you get us? Are you getting us? Somebody hearing me? Bagampadde? Haj Bagampadde Umar. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Are you there? Please text chat and text whether you are getting us right. May I see your answers? Yes, yes, or no? Okay, okay. Are you following me? Are you getting me? Can I see your responses? Please text your chat. Type and say, hello, hello, assalamu alaikum. Okay. So, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope we are all moving in the same direction. Welcome yet to another lesson of Geography Paper 1, Senior 3. My name is Hajat Zaina. And can we have a prayer? I would have wanted one of you to volunteer to lead us into prayer, but it seems I can't do it. I would have, if Bagampade would unmute the microphone and lead us in prayer. But okay, maybe it's not possible. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, we thank you, Allah, for having brought us this far, for having kept us alive. We thank you for protecting and guiding us. We thank you for providing us with all that we have had. We pray that you keep guiding and protecting us along a straight path of those who have earned your blessings. We pray that you continue guiding and protecting our parents and our guardians and all our relatives. We pray that you keep us in peace and not in pieces. We pray that you keep providing us and protect us against all evil and all the shaitan around the world. In your name, Allah, we pray. So members, that was a short prayer. And on the screen, we have the notes. But before we go to today's topic, I want us to give or to have, first of all, a flashback of what we had last week. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? We had a topic. What was our last topic? What was our last topic? Can I see a response? What was our last topic? Nobody's responding. Nobody's responding. What was our last topic, members? What was our last topic? What was our last topic? Nobody's responding. This is like it's going to be a dead class. I don't enjoy conducting classes that are not active. Nobody's responding. Nobody's responding. Nobody's responding. Where was it? Are you sleeping? Eh? You see me at shame upon you. Mining, very good, Nanyonjo. That's very good. Mining, thank you so much. Yeah, we looked at mining, and the last time we had our lesson, we also looked at some different methods of mining, like open cast, like adit method, and so on. We also saw particular minerals being mined in East Africa. We ended with what was the last mineral that we saw being mined. What was that last mineral that we saw being mined in East Africa? If you remember, that last mineral, what was it? Can somebody respond, please? I'm not seeing your answers. You can see whether there are more answers. I want to see the answers. No one? No answers? Only one person is logging in. No one is responding. I only see Nanyon Joshadia. I'm not seeing the rest. I don't know why. Senior 3. Nalima was among the first people to join the class, but she's for sure. I'm not seeing any responses. Okay. Okay, but I don't know. Mr. Hassan, this class is not going to be a good one, it seems. It's going to be a boring one, and I hate boring lessons, because nobody's responding. Nantale, no answer. Diamond, yes. Somebody is saying diamond, yes. We also looked, if you have forgotten, let me remind you a little. We also looked at soda ash. And I have a question here. Did you know that soda ash is sodium bicarbonate? Have you heard of sodium bicarbonate? If you haven't, this is the one we use. It is an inorganic compound that is also the same as baking powder, whitish powder. That whitish powder, that is sodium bicarbonate, okay? And it is used as a softener in water. It is used as a food additive. Sometimes when your parents or when you're at home and you have been asked to prepare beans, and beans are very hard, some people add sodium bicarbonate. Some people add sodium bicarbonate to soften the foods, for example, those making pancakes and so on. So that is soda ash. So that was just a bit of flashback to look into what we looked at earlier. Okay, we also saw the uses of soda ash. For example, we said it is a softener. When water is very hard, it is softened by adding soda ash. In cooking, it is a food additive. It is a cleanser. It is added into detergents to cleanse. It is used in building and construction, and so on and so forth. So this was just something to give us a flashback of what is mining, and what is soda ash, and some of the other uses of soda ash. Now, today's lesson is going to be it is going to be a topic on wildlife and tourism, wildlife conservation and tourism in East Africa. Wildlife and tourism go hand in hand, because one feeds the other. Wildlife feeds tourism. Tourism in East Africa. Snow-capped mountains in East Africa. So we are looking at that as a topic, and we are having one definitions on the screen. You must be able to see the notes that I'm giving or I'm discussing. We have, yes, we have wildlife, first of all, and we have said that this refers to all animals and plants as they exist in their natural setting, or the untamed stroke undomesticated living things. Okay, that is wildlife. Anything that is in the wild. Hmm? Anything that is in the wild, for example, animals, for example, vegetation, for example, forests, bushes, etc. All that is in wild, in the bracket of wildlife, as long as it is a living thing. Okay, it is not domesticated. We call it wildlife. The animals may include birds, reptiles, insects, mammals, etc., living in their natural habitat. That uh, this habitat might be forests. Yes, I'll need that. Forests can be grasslands, can be water or woodland. So when we talk of the natural habitat, that is what we are meaning. The forests, the grasslands, the water, woodlands, etc. Wildlife is, in summary, untamed flora and fauna. Okay? Flora is the vegetation part of wildlife. Then fauna refers to the animal part. Okay? So I want you to take note of that. Untamed, untamed flora and fauna. So I've said that the fauna or the flora refers to the vegetation or the plants. Okay? Whereas the fauna, these are the animals, the animal life. This is plant life. Flora is the plant life. Okay? And we are saying that tourism, the other definition is tourism. This refers to an activity of moving. That is tourism. It is an activity of moving from one place to another or traveling. You can say it is an activity of traveling from one place to another or from one country to another, okay, for purposes of adventure or relaxation. It involves movement for purposes of pleasure, research, or curiosity. This movement may be either within, that is local, within, or international. So we can say, we can think of people who move, for example, you can move from Kampala to Kasese for purposes of pleasure. That is what we call internal tourism. Or you can move from Uganda maybe to Kenya. That is what we call international tourism. Okay? And when we talk of movement, you are traveling, okay? You are, and as you are traveling, you are viewing, you are enjoying all the nature that you pass by, all the scenery that you pass by. So you are touring, okay? And as you are enjoying, as you are trying to view, you you are relaxing your mind. Now, the third item for definition is wildlife conservation. And we have said that this refers to the practice of maintaining and protecting, maintaining and protecting the diverse flora and fauna in its natural environment. So, with wildlife conservation, it is an effort, okay? It is a gesture by communities, society, government, or people to make sure that they maintain, okay? They maintain the existing natural environment in its natural status without depleting it. Tourism and wildlife, tourism and wildlife are closely related, okay? Because 80% of tourism depends on wildlife. That is, the expected tourists, people who come to tour or to view whatever they come to view, they are attracted by the wildlife. And we have already said wildlife is the flora and fauna, or vegetation and animals. Other things that are not that come after. Okay, so many of the tourists who come to East Africa come to view the wildlife. So wildlife attracts almost 80% of the tourists that we receive here in in East Africa. Okay? So we continue, we move on. Tourism and wildlife are closely related because 80% of tourism depends on wildlife. East Africa is endowed with a variety of tourist attractions, stroke potentials, and these include the following. So that is a list of the tourist attractions that we have. Okay, that we have. We have one, wildlife, and we have said that this includes animals, and for example, birds, zebras, giraffes, etc. And vegetation, igi forests, for example, are conserved in national parks, game reserves, forest reserves, sanctuaries, zoos, etc. So those are areas where we have wildlife, where this wildlife is conserved, okay, where we have vegetation being conserved. Much of the vegetation is conserved in form of forest reserves, okay. Animals shall be found in game parks or game reserves or sanctuaries or zoos, etc. So the other item, the tourism, we also have climate. Climate is another part or another item that attracts tourists, and other resources attached to it. For example, sports, or for example, sunbathing. So tourists come to East Africa in order to carry out particular sports, okay? Some particular sports that will be carried out in East Africa, most especially because of the climate. Our climate, or the East African climate, is kind of uh, different from other climates experienced in other countries. The warm, sunny conditions that we experience here might not be the same as those experienced maybe in England or America or whatever. So, because of that particular characteristic of climate, many people are attracted to come to East Africa. We've given examples of East African climatic types. For example, we have the savanna climate, we have the equatorial climate, we have semi-arid climate, and the montane climate. Next item that also attracts tourists, we have relief features, and this is the landscape. Relief features. This is what we call the landscape. Now, the landscape or the topography. We shall also look at landscape as the topography or the scenery of the East African region. Okay, so relief, for example, features like highlands, valleys, etc. Those are the things that we have in relief. The appearance of the land, how the land appears. Is it steep? Is it a highland? We have cliffs, we have valleys, okay? When we go to the coast, that coastal geomorphology, the stacks, the cliffs, the blowholes, you remember all those physical features that you had in coastal geomorphology. When we go to volcanic features, the craters, the geysers, and so on, all those are relief features that attract tourists. We also have the other item under tourism. We also have historical sites. Sometimes we call them antiquities. Historical sites. So antiquities or museums. Museums. So all these are in the bracket of historical sites. Okay, historical sites. For example, we have the Nyero rock paintings. For example, we have Kasuri tombs. For example, we have Olduvai Gorge. So all those sites attract, for example, even in Masaka, we also have Bigovia Mgenyi, okay? We have Kabalega tombs. Those are sites that are known for certain historical events, major historical events. For example, Fort Jesus at Mombasa was constructed by the Arabs the Portuguese as they came to the coast. Sorry, I beg your pardon. It was the Portuguese, not the Arabs. Okay, so all those sites that have important, let me say that have important historical events attract tourists. Okay, and they do attract tourists not only from within the country or from within East Africa, but from outside. People come from as far as Australia to come and see the Fort Jesus, to come and see the Tanda sites, the Walumbe Tanda sites along Mitiana Road. Okay, so all those attractions that we have in East Africa. Next, the fifth one, we have culture. Culture, the way we behave, the way we lead our lives. For example, the way we dress, the way we talk, the way we conduct ceremonies. For example, the initiation ceremonies of the Bagishu. All those are activities that attract tourists. Tourists come to East Africa to see, to enjoy. Okay, so once they come and they find such ceremonies going on, they enjoy and relax their minds. Okay, for example, initiation ceremonies of twins in Uganda here, all those are cultural activities or events that attract tourists to come to East Africa. Next, we also have drainage features, for example, lakes, rivers, swamps, etc., waterfalls, etc. All those are things that attract. When we talk of tourist attractions, attributes of tourism in East Africa, things that can attract tourists in East Africa, we have at least a good list here. Drainage features, we say the drainage is to do with water, things to do with water. For example, the lakes, Victoria itself attracts many tourists to come and see how is this lake looking like, the largest internal lake, okay? Much as it is shallow, but it is very, very huge, okay? So they come to see the rivers, River Nile, the longest in the world, and many people come to see. And how is it? How is this country where this longest river is originating from? Uganda is having the source of the Nile. So many people come to see, just to see that source of the Nile. Okay, it is a blessing. That's why we say that East Africa is endowed, okay, is blessed, okay, is blessed with a variety of tourist attractions. And those are some of the tourist attractions that we have got for you. Now, we have a task here, and I want you to do it. Next lesson, we shall be checking on it. The task is draw a sketch map of East Africa and on it mark and name. 1. The national parks. 2. The game reserves. In each of these East African countries, I want you to name the national parks. Mark and name the national parks. Mark and name the game reserves. Okay? So, and by the way, that's not all. You can even add, you can even take it upon yourself and find out whether you can mark and name the various rivers in East Africa. Can you mark and name the different lakes in East Africa? Okay? I believe by you now, you have the atlas. Okay? Because I've always encouraged you to carry on with your atlas as you come for the geography lesson. So there. So I want you to go after the lesson and carry out that task. Then the other question is, what is a sanctuary? By the way, what is a sanctuary? I want you to do that. Then make sure you have answers by the time we come for the next lesson. Or you can as well draw them up and send it for marking. I only had one person who gave me the work on WhatsApp for marking, and I marked. Thank you so much, young man there who was able to do the work. But it is so absurd. Many of us are not active. You just sit maybe and wait to be given notes. But that should not be, because what we are having now, we may not go back to it. So make sure that you are understanding, you are following, and you are understanding whatever we are teaching. And when we give work, please do it and send it. It's about self-drive, okay? For us, teachers are doing our part of teaching. You students, you also have a part to play, a role to play. Do what you are being asked to do and make sure you do it well, okay? Because you are studying for your own future. You're not studying for your parents. You're not studying for me, Hajat Zaina. No, you're studying for your own future. So do the work and forward it on WhatsApp for marking. You can imagine, out of the 300 that you are, only one person responded. It is not a good gesture, but it is not good. So come up, pull up the socks. Otherwise, that response was not good. So the task that I've left you with, make sure you do it, and make sure you have work ready for marking. Next, factors favoring the development of tourism in East Africa. We have the factors there. We have the factors there. And one, these can be either physical or human factors, and they are as follows. Beginning with the physical factors, we have three physical factors. One, presence of abundant and varied wildlife in East Africa, which attract many tourists to come and view it. Okay, that is about wildlife. Okay, then it's two, or the second, presence of a variety of relief features such as mountains, valleys, craters, snow caps, etc. I wanted to show you a clip of snow-capped mountains, but I might not be able because of time. But after the lesson, or during that interlude, use your gadgets, go to Google and type in the snow cap such that you have a look. You know, I want you to enjoy this time that you are studying, because you have ability to use your gadgets and even learn more than what we are giving you. Okay, don't just use the gadgets to chat on WhatsApp and Instagram and so on. No, go to Google, type in something that you are not really sure of, and type in snow-capped mountains in East Africa, and it will come. You'll be able to see how these snow-capped mountains look like. Type in tourism in East Africa, and everything will come. They'll bring you all the options of tourism in East Africa, and you'll be able to have a glimpse, a visual look at what we are learning or what we are talking about. Maybe one of you or two will even pick interest in investing in tourism in East Africa. After all, it is now liberalized. Anybody can open up a tour guide center, wherever you want. Okay, so we are looking at the second. Are you seeing the notes? Are you seeing the notes? I don't know. Yes. So we are looking at the second option, or the second physical factor, that is relief features, and we have given there is that word after land. It is supposed to be landscape, not scopes. Have you corrected? I wanted to collect it. So we move on. 3, presence of attractive drainage features. Presence of attractive drainage features. That word is landscape. So the third point is about The third point is about presence of attractive drainage features such as rivers, lakes, waterfalls. Examples of these drainage features, we have crater lakes, we have Seziwa Falls, Sipi Falls, Lake Victoria, rivers, we have River Nile, and so on, which attract tourists as well as providing them with a variety of tourist activities. For example, some of the tourist activities carried out in these drainage features, we have swimming, rafting, fishing, okay, boat riding, etc. Just go to Google and type in rafting in East Africa, okay, and they'll bring you tourists enjoying the rafts, okay, or maybe Bujagari Falls and so on and so forth. So others, we also have the other factors. We have human factors, human factors, and we are continuing. Next, availability of various historical sites which are of interest to tourists. For example, Fort Jesus at Mombasa and others. There are so many other historical sites. I've just given you one as an example, but there are so many. You just go to Google and type in historical sites in East Africa, and Google will bring you a whole list of these historical sites. I want you to make good use of those gadgets that you have, not only lugamboring or rumor mongering or wolokosoling. No, just use it for purposes of academic excellence, because they are good research materials that you have. Next, peace and stability experienced in the East African countries, especially Kenya and Tanzania, which has ensured safety of the tourists and their safety of the tourists' life and their property. Okay, so next we are having improvement in transport network. This has eased accessibility of tourist sites, and made movement of the tourists more enjoyable and interesting. If the roads are not bumpy, they're all smooth, the tourists' vehicles can move on smoothly, the travel becomes more enjoyable rather than being disgusting. You become so tired, and. But when the roads are very good, well developed, when communication is also good, the travel for the tourists is going to be more enjoyable and interesting, and will always even want to come back because he has had a comfortable drive to the tourist centers and done it within a short time. So you are saying that all this is enabling more numbers of tourists to come to East Africa. Next, increased levels of advancement to the outside world through embassies abroad, international television channels, magazines, music, etc., which make tourists aware of the tourist potentials in East Africa. So, because of these, there are so many avenues through which the tourists get to know what is going on in East Africa. For example, music. There is a musician, what is the name? There is this musician, for example. He has a very good song that is advertising East Africa or advertising Uganda. I forget the lyrics, but it is this man Lutalo. There is that song of Mapera, Maria Mapera. There is that song. What's the name of that song? I don't know. Waliya Mapera, Babichi, and what? There is that song, eh? I may not know the lyrics of the song, but I the message in the song. This man was advertising, unknowingly, he was advertising Uganda. He was trying to attract a Mzungu girl, promising him all heaven once this girl accepted to come to Uganda. And he told him all the good things in Uganda. Okay, the things were in Uganda, and it was good message. But I'm sure he may not even be aware that he was indirectly advertising Uganda as one of the East African countries blessed with a number of fruits, a lot of peace, the climate, and so on. All that was in the song. That's why we have said that this advertisement can be done in form of music, magazines, television channels. You know, the satellite TVs are so many now. Okay, and they go beyond. Okay, for example, and because of communication, because of technology, there are so many things that have become global. You are here, but I'm here teaching, but somebody in America is watching me, okay, because of the YouTube channel. So that's what we are talking of here when we say international television channels. So a lot of clips are put on those channels talking about East Africa. And in that, many people outside are able to know what is happening in East Africa, and they are willing to come and enjoy their stay in East Africa. Next, good hospitality rendered to the tourists by the local people of East Africa or the locals of East African countries. This has continued to attract tourists from all over the world because of the assured care and warm stroke hearty relations. Hearty is something to do with the happy, good, okay? Accommodative, hearty relations from the local people. So, because the tourists are sure that when they come, the local people of East Africa will not eat them, they will not back at them, instead, they will give them warm welcome. So, they are able to come again and even interest others into coming to East Africa. Next, improved accommodation facilities in form of hotels, rest houses, okay, etc. For the tourist stay, stroke residential services. So we have, if you look around, you will see that there are so many five-star hotels that are springing up. Okay, even either in Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, in the East African countries, we have a variety of good hotels that assure the tourists of comfortable stay. Whenever somebody comes to enjoy or to relax or to to enjoy leisure, and this person is not comfortable with the hotel that he or she is sleeping in, do you expect that person to come back again? No, definitely no. Do you expect that person to interest others into coming? Definitely no. Okay, so but because of the improved accommodation facilities, they are well watered, well lit. Okay, these facilities are well lit, hygienic. The sanitation around these facilities is very high. The people working in these facilities, the guest houses, the guest rooms, or the rest houses, or the hotels, people working there are good. Okay, they are accommodative. They are hospitable. They provide warm welcome to the tourists as they come. Therefore, it leads to increased numbers of tourists coming into East Africa. Next, increased level of education among East Africans, which has increased their awareness and appreciation about tourism, thereby putting them in position of conserving the environment in order to attract more tourists. realize that recently or currently there are so many causes to do with tourism. So people have come to appreciate the importance of tourism, the importance of the environment. People have come to know that if they do not protect their environment, we shall not have more tourists. And therefore, we are seeing that the numbers in tourism or in tourists are increasing because of the increased education. Otherwise, if people didn't know the importance of tourism, maybe they would not bother to conserve the environment. They would not bother to conserve the forests, for example. But because now we know, we have studied, we have our relatives or our people who have taken these courses in tourism, they now know that if they are not protective in the tourism industry, maybe they will have no jobs. Okay, so that alone has helped to increase awareness, and therefore the need to protect the tourist attractions that we have. Next, we have availability of that what is supposed to be adequate. Availability of adequate capital, availability of adequate capital, adequate capital, adequate capital, provided by both the East African governments and foreign investors to invest in the tourism industry. For example, putting up five-star hotels, paying the workers in tourist sector, etc. So this capital is required for so many other things. We cannot start up or we cannot have well-developed tourism sector without the required capital. Next, availability of skilled manpower to work in the tourist sector. Availability of skilled manpower to work in the tourist sector, to work as, for example, tour guides, managers of hotels. We also have people who work there as cleaners, caterers, people who work in the tourism sector as interpreters, and so on and so forth. So we see that it has really, it is really helping to increase on the number of tourists who come to East Africa. Next, supportive government policies, which encourage investment in the tourist sector. For example, of recent, many East African countries have liberalized the tourism sector. People are allowed to start up, to control, for example, a historical site. If you feel that your historical site is very important, there are some historical events that are known worldwide or by the whole country that deserve to be toured, you are free to protect it. For example, we have a private historical site in Fort Portal, the Mabere Ganyina Mwiru. It is a private historical site. Tourists go there and tour it. Okay, and entry fees collected there goes into a private pocket. Okay, it is not controlled by the government. Okay, if you go to, for example, Mwea Safari Road in the Queen Elizabeth National Park, the establishment there was originally by government, but now it is controlled by an individual. Okay, if you go to Para Safari Lodge in Matchon Falls, for example. It is also controlled by an individual. So we are saying, or we are seeing that this tourism sector has now become individualized. Okay, it is liberal. It is okay for one to own. When you go to Sepe Falls, for example, in Uganda, it is controlled by individuals, not by the state. So this is what we are saying, that the supportive government policy which encourage investments in the tourist sector, for example, liberalization of the tourism sector, low taxes levied on these initiatives or on the investors, allows more people to invest in the tourism sector and thereby attracting many other tourists to come into the country and tour the various tourist attractions. Next, introduction of holiday packages with chartered aircrafts from Europe and North America has greatly attracted tourists who come to enjoy such promotions. So the East African countries attach certain holiday packages. If you travel with particular travel companies or air companies, airways. So if you travel with those, for example, if you are to travel, let me say with Emirates, Fly Emirates, they give you, the East African countries have a package for you. So tourists elsewhere in the world will be attracted to travel with those airways such that they enjoy those packages. Next, there's been development of efficient tour operators who organize tour packages worldwide at attractive prices, hence attracting more tourists into the region. So many more other tourists are attracted to come because these tour companies are offering facilities at low costs, okay, subsidized costs, and therefore, so we have talked about snow-capped mountains in East Africa. I don't know whether you are seeing it on screen. That is how. Okay, so it is on the screen there. I hope you are seeing. That is a river. That is what a snow-capped mountain looks like. I hope you are seeing the video. You are seeing the snow, Margarita Peak. It is on Rwenzori Mountain. You are seeing the peaks or the different peaks of the area. That is on Rwenzori Mountain. And now this one is in Ethiopia. This is not in East Africa. Okay? That one is not in East Africa. But the other one where we began from was East Africa. Okay? It was that one. That one is in East Africa. It is on Rwenzori Mountains. Okay. So that was just a video clip for you to relax and tour your region, but from class. Maybe if God allows, we might organize and we have a tour by ourselves. Next topic is importances or subtopic importances of we have importances of tourism in East Africa. We have importances of tourism in East Africa. So are we there? We are through with that. We are now importances of tourism in East Africa. Importances of tourism in East Africa. We have a variety. Now, like we have been giving importances or contributions of tourism when it comes to, contributions of anything to development. This is the same. Remember where we have the Fred Triumph staff, that acronym, it also applies here. But we are going to choose carefully. We are going to choose those contributions carefully. Okay. So we continue. We have number one. So how about provision of adequate security to the tourists? Yes, we have that. Somebody asked about provision. That was in Nantumbwe. Yes, your question, we have catered for that. I want you to go to availability of point number 5. Are you there? Halima, are you there? Point number 5. We have that point number 5. On the screen it is point number 4, but it is point number 5. Peace and stability experienced in the East African countries, especially Kenya and Tanzania, which has ensured safety of. So this point, your contribution is catered for by that point. Are we together? Can we move on? Any more questions? Please keep on texting your questions. I'll answer them. No. Shadia, that is not my contact. My contact, my goodness. My contact is. So it seems some people have been forwarding their answers to wrong contact. No, that is not my contact. My contact is 0772 34. I writing 3160. That's my WhatsApp contact. If you want to send your answers such that I look at them, I will, and I'll give you immediate response. So please take note. Shadia, are you with me? Shadia Nanyonjo, that's not my contact. My contact is 0772 34 31 60. 34 31 60. This one. I hope you are seeing it. And I hope everybody has corrected it. So it seems some people have been sending answers to a wrong number. So, any more questions? Can we continue? Any other person? I'm seeing, there's a, okay, I'm seeing Wasampija. I'm not seeing any more. Nice. Okay, next. So we move on. Can we move on? Move on to importances. We had started the importances. Point number 1. Point number 1. Tourism is an invisible export which earns the governments of East Africa foreign exchange. Which earns the governments of East Africa foreign exchange that is used to further development of other sectors. For example, transport, communication, etc. For example, we have an example here. For example, Kenya. For example, in Kenya, tourism is the second leading earner of foreign exchange. Okay? So in Kenya, the sector that earns them more foreign exchange, actually it used to be the first, second to agriculture. But now agriculture is first, and tourism is second. It is the second foreign exchange earner in Kenya. So tourism, as these tourists come, they come with their currencies from their countries, for example, dollars, etc. And they bring the dollars, and when we go to the world market to buy stuff, we use the same dollars, okay, to buy from outside, okay. So that's what we call, that is the explanation behind foreign exchange. Next, the industry is a source of revenue that is used to develop other infrastructure through taxing tour companies, workers in the tourism sector, as well as charging entry fees. Okay, as well as charging entry fees. As well as charging. So as people want to enter these tourist sites, they have to pay something. So that payment is taxed. Okay. Again, these tour companies, as those that want to open, they have to pay a tax, operational tax. Okay. Then next, three, the industry, that is the tourism industry, has provided employment opportunity to people who work as tour guides. Has provided employment opportunity to people who work as tour guides, managers, etc. etc. This is greatly improved. This has greatly improved people's standards of living. Okay, this has greatly improved people's standards of living. The next factor, or the next importance, was said that it has led to development of the art and crafts industry, which has improved incomes for the local people, which has improved incomes for the local people. Next, look, before we go to the next point, we know that locally, East Africans make very beautiful crafts. For example, they weave baskets, the crochets. You know, I forgot to come with my. I have a very good scarf that was made by one of my students, and it is looking very nice. So those are the things that are put to market before the tourists, and the tourists buy them exorbitantly, very expensively, and for them, they enjoy it. Okay, they look at shoes, those sandals that are locally made. They are beautiful to them. They are beautiful, and they pay willingly and moreover exorbitantly. So next we have the other point is, it has facilitated the development of infrastructure, for example, roads, hotels, rest houses, etc., that are used by tourists. So this infrastructure, this infrastructure is put in place to aid, okay, to help the tourists enjoy their stay. Okay, so for example, hotels, roads are constructed to make movement of the tourists easy, to ease or to make the tourists feel more comfortable while they are in East Africa. So as they construct these roads, they are not only enjoyed by the tourists, even we East Africans enjoy them. Okay, the hotels, it doesn't mean that only tourists go to Serena Hotel, for example. No, even locals might choose, if somebody feels that really I have to reward myself. I've worked so hard, tirelessly, okay, to get this achievement. Now that I've achieved, let me go and enjoy 2 nights in maybe Fairway Hotel. Yeah, within Uganda, and somebody enjoys. So it is not only the tourists that are going to enjoy this infrastructure that is put in place for them. Even the locals of East Africa have a right or can go and enjoy. Next, point number 6, tourism has boosted agriculture and other industrial sectors that produce consumer goods that are demanded by the tourists. For example, milk, okay, chicken, beef, and so on. All these consumer goods are produced in the agriculture sector, and they are enjoyed or consumed by the tourism. I mean, the tourists, as they come to visit the country or the region, East Africa. This has led to increased income for the locals or for the agriculture farmers in East Africa. Seven, we have, it has contributed, to economic diversification by providing an alternative source of government income, hence reducing overdependence on unpredictable agriculture. Okay? Unpredictable agriculture because of the booming tourism industry. Okay? East African countries are no longer depending so much on agriculture because it is unpredictable. Today, produce thousands and thousands of tons of coffee. Tomorrow, you produce only 1 ton. Okay, so maybe you had predicted that maybe I'll get more tomorrow. It disappoints you. So that is agriculture. So it is not predictable. You cannot depend on it wholesomely. And it is very disappointing sometimes. Fluctuations of prices and so on and so forth. Products perish, But with the tourism, you are sure, there is no perishability of, and tourists continue coming. Okay, save when we get to challenges, maybe we shall look at challenges facing the tourism sector. But if we are to take it the way it is so far so good. It can be an alternative source of income for the governments of East Africa. Remember, we said that it provides foreign exchange. That is income. We said that it is a source of revenue. That is also income that goes into the government coffers. Our next 8, it has promoted urbanization through growth of towns to provide better social and economic services. It has promoted urbanization through growth of towns to provide better social and economic services to the tourists in those areas that are mostly visited. Okay? There are areas that are mostly visited, those areas that have good tourist attractions. For example, in Uganda, the western part of Uganda, southwestern part of Uganda, those areas have a variety of tourist attractions. Relief, in terms of national parks, in terms of vegetation, there are so many tourist attractions, those ends. And that has led to growth of towns, urbanization. Okay? For example, a town like Kasese grew due to the presence of that. Dar es Salaam entirely grew due to tourism. Mombasa grew entirely due to tourism, and so on and so forth. Where we have tourist attractions, these towns will not remain the same. I want us to, for example, compare a town like Fort Portal, for example. Compare that town with a town like, let me say, Mpiji. Okay, Mpiji. Those of us in the central here, Mpiji, where we have no any tourist attraction. But Mpiji is so close and near Kampala, but it is not so developed. When you go to Fort Portal, you'll find that it is very well developed, yet it is far away, miles and miles away from Kampala. But because of the presence of some tourist attractions, we have crater, so many crater lakes in Kasese, in Fort Portal. We have huge or extensive forests. We have Mawere Ganyina Mwiru there, and so on and so forth. So next, we have said the other contribution, the other importance of tourism. We also have tourism has led to productive use. It has led to productive use of land that would otherwise be wasted. That word there is wasted. That would otherwise, I hope you are correcting. That word there is wasted. I see there is something wasted. How does climate affect the tourism? Okay, we shall come to that. I'm going to come to that. Let me first. We are saying tourism has led to productive use of land that would otherwise be wasted, or idle. That would otherwise be wasted or idle. Okay? For agriculture, especially those areas with low and unreliable rainfall. Can we mention some examples? I left those two gaps for you there. Fill in some areas that are having unreliable rainfall. They are semi-arid, but they are developed because of tourism, because they have some tourist attractions there. So can you give the answers there? That question I'll still refer to it. Waswa Hassan is asking, as you fill in those two gaps, there's a question that I'm seeing here from your charts. How does the climate of Uganda affect the tourism industry? This question is a bit negative. Somehow, this person is sort of insinuating that the climate of Uganda is not promoting tourism. But the climate of Uganda is promoting tourism. It has attracted many tourists to come and enjoy the warm, sunny summers. The summers here are warm. They are not as hot as in the desert. And the winters here are also warm, So our climate instead attracts tourists. Okay? So it is, should I say, it is affecting the tourism industry positively. Why? Because it is attracting more tourists to come to Uganda. So let's get back. I hope you have filled in those. These. Are you seeing the screen? Okay, where I'm having the cursor. We are saying tourism has led to productive use of land that would otherwise be wasted or idle for agriculture, especially in areas with low and unreliable rainfall. For example, in those two dashes, I want you to give me examples of those areas. For example, can I see a response? For example, who is giving me? No one? Waswa? No answer? I want an answer. What are some of these places? I want an answer. You are not giving me answers. People are very slow in responding. We have no time. Eh? I want an answer. I want just 2 answers. Just text. Karamoja, very good. Natumba, you are very good girl. Have my hug. Are you seeing me giving you my hug? Yeah. Then who else? Who else? Which other place? Which other place? So we have Karamoja there. What else? Which other place? In East Africa. An area which is having tourist potential, okay, but is receiving unreliable rainfall. Therefore, this area is productive just because of tourism. So Karamoja is mostly productive because of tourism. Okay? I'm not seeing any other, but Saviondo, type. I'm waiting for your answer. Yes, my dear boy there. So can we continue to point number? Saviondo, what have you done? Infrastructure development. I'm not getting your answer right. So Saviondo, that is not correct. So next, can we move on to point number 11? Tourism has greatly helped in the conservation. Tourism has Malindi, yes, very good. Very good. Now come back. Let us write the notes. Ahmed Salim, very good examples there. Very good, very good. Let's get back to the notes now. Let's get back to the notes. Point number 11. Are you writing? Yes, are we writing? Tourism has greatly helped in the conservation of wildlife for research and study purposes. For example, at the Institute of Ecology within Queen Elizabeth National Park itself, that park there, okay, the Queen Elizabeth National Park, there is an Institute of Ecology. That institute is researching, is carrying out studies on how the animals and plants are coexisting. Okay, so that study might not have been able to be done if it were not for tourism. So because of tourism, these studies are being done to make sure that they continue preserving, they continue protecting and promoting tourism. Next, in addition, tourism has promoted preservation of African culture and customs. African culture and customs, stroke African heritage. For example, dances, dress, ceremonies, etc. In addition, it has led to environmental conservation. That one is also related to number 12. In addition, it has led to environmental conservation. Since features like fauna and flora have to be guarded against extinction for continued attraction of tourists, and also indirectly controls occurrences of soil erosion, landslides, etc. Because we want to continue attracting tourists, okay? To continue having a booming trade in tourism. The locals or the governments or the people of East Africa have continued to work so hard to control or to avoid extinction of certain varieties in the natural environment. For example, people want to prevent deforestation. And in so doing, they are preventing deforestation with the name of promoting or attracting tourists to come and look at those extensive thick forests. But by so doing, they are also controlling soil erosion and they are also controlling occurrence of landslide. I hope you get the explanation there. Okay? There is a point we skipped here that it has led to peaceful relations between East Africa and the rest of the world, which has boosted international trade. So these countries that continue sending tourists to East Africa have become trade partners with the East African region. Beyond tourism, East African region exports other items to these countries. Okay, so because of tourism, there is that uh, cordial relationship between East African region and other countries. Which question? There's a question that there was a chat. So I welcome more questions. I'm pausing a bit. I want to go to the chat room and look at your questions, find out some of your burning issues, anything you would like me to give more. I still have more time. It is still a lot of time. So please ask. Ask. I want your questions. I want you to ask. I'm still here for you. So today we have looked at. We have not completed. Okay. If I had more time, we would continue and give the challenges facing the tourism sector. But now that we still have few minutes left, can we discuss this? What are the likely negative effects of tourism on the East African region? Are you seeing that? I'm waiting for your answers. And I'm going to even sit and respond to whatever you're telling me. Yes. What the question for discussion now. But you people, you are boring me. You're not even texting. I've just been to senior one and those guys there, they're very good. Can we go to the discussion room and we are active, we be active. Nanyonjo, Sebiondo, Ahmed Salim, Nalima. Please go into the discussion room and give me your answers. The question is, what are the likely negative effects of tourism on the East African region? I want to hear you say something, but you are so, I don't know. I don't want to use that word, but you are bothering me. Huh? No one is responding? Come on. Sabiondo, you are typing? Yes. Salim Ahmed, Nanyonjo. I want you to answer my question. It is, by the way, do you think these people are there? Eh? Bonna bali bameka? Isota, Sebagala, Yusufu, where are you? I think I should not come back to senior city. I should. Poaching. Somebody is saying poaching. Now that one is not correct. I want you to look at the question again. The question is saying, what are the likely negative effects of tourism? Somebody is saying poaching. No. Isota is saying tourism puts pressure on natural resources which leads to overconsumption. That is correct. But the one who said poaching is likely to take place, no. That is not, poaching is not an effect of tourism. We are asking. I meant that tourism has led to infrastructure development. Okay, yes, that is a positive effect. Now we are looking at, because what we have given so far, Damlila, pollution of the environment is likely to take place. Yes, very good. But why? Who can tell me how can pollution come in? Increase the prices of goods. Yes, very good. Sebagala, yes, that is true. But this pollution, Damlila, how is this pollution experienced? How does it come into play due to tourism? How does tourism lead to pollution? It is correct, but you have to know how to explain it. Sebagala, increase the prices. Yes, very good. But somebody, Damlila, please expound on your point, because if you do not, you might lose it. Any others? It may lead to overcrowding in traffic jam. Yes, but that is so far-fetched. Yes, but that is so far-fetched. Pollution. When these tourists come, they come with their gadgets. Some of them come with the items that end up polluting the soil or the land. Okay? Buembo, Brolin, yes, tourism may lead to overpopulation. They don't come to stay. No. Brolin, you are lying. These tourists don't come to stay. So they come to stay for some time and they go away. So it does not lead to overpopulation. So that one should not be included. Population growth, Namagembe, no. There's another one here. Waswa is typing. Waswa typing Arua. What? You 12 days now. Narima Husna is typing. Yes, Mutes is typing. I want your answers. I'm waiting. I have a few minutes left. Mugela Arafa. You are all typing. Temumala typing. You people. Aren't you doing computer? Yes. Sebiondo, teacher, attributes. Where? Sebiondo, come again. Attributes the same as yes. Now
attributes are the same as factors influencing towards the
yes, same, very good. It is things that influence tourism. Now, Mutes, pollution when the tourists litter and also noise pollution. Very good. It may lead to population growth. No. Husna, no. Then in Nasanga, tourism can lead to spread of the very true. These tourists come and mingle with our people here and they spread diseases, AIDS, corona, and so on. Next, exploitation of employees. Yes, somehow. So Batude Radhia, displacement of people, very true. Because of this tourism, Mbatude, that is a very good answer. Displacement of people. People are displaced in order to establish tour sites. Buembo, tourism may lead to terror. Very good. Very true, Buembo. That is a very correct point. These tourists come and they carry out sometimes they carry out terrorist attacks. Beginning from, yes, Masoko, my friend Masokoi. Tourism may lead to diseases like COVID. Very good. Improvement. No, now this is not negative. Shadia, you have said improvement of transport and communication. That is a positive factor, not a negative. We are discussing what are the likely negative effects of tourism, because we have given the positives. Okay, so I wanted you to give me the negatives, and many people have done this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Any more contributions? Sebiondo teacher, wait, we are still thinking. I like that. Yes, my dear boy Alex, I'll give you time to think. When I'm out, please continue using my line, my WhatsApp line, and forward your answers. Tourism may lead to overcrowding, like when they become more in an area where they all want to tour. Yes, but it will not be a long-term effect. Gune tourism, there is this one. Tourism can lead to overconsumption of natural resources. Yes, that is overexploitation. Okay, tourism may lead to overexploitation of natural resources. Very good. May lead to very good. Lukenge Musa. Very good point here. Tourists from the West spread bad morals like homosexual. Very good, homosexuality. This is very good. Very good point here, that tourism can lead to spread of immoral acts like homosexuality. Very good. Tourism may attract people like poachers who will reduce. No, this is not an effect of tourism. How has Uganda promoted tourism? This Waswa Hassan, very good question here. How has Uganda promoted tourism in this COVID-19 pandemic? For example, I will answer that right away. For example, Uganda government has endeavored to carry out vaccination of people who come into Uganda before they proceed. The government has tested all those people who have come into the country before they proceed to their destinations, and it has halted incoming jets or incoming flights from those areas that are feared to be hardly stricken by the COVID pandemic. Very good. So, Alex, impacts of tourism. There are many hidden costs to tourism, which can have unfavorable economic effects on the host communities. Very good answer there. I want to sign out. I'm now on borrowed time. But are you hearing me right, my dear? By the way, sinabyogera kebyo. I've not said it. Mbumbadde makoye. No. Since go obadde obyogera. So me, I've not said it, and I'll never say it. I'll never say it, please. Era for me, you have been a very good class. Really, when I'm about to go, you are really holding me tight on the chair, not even wanting to move away. But thank you so much for being. One last, Sebagala Bakuba is saying it can. Different airlines have tested their passengers. Very good. It can contaminate culture through coming of outsiders. Very good answer, Sevagala. You people, you are very nice. You are a very nice class. Thank you, because somebody is saying this one, it can contaminate cultures through coming of the outsiders. That is a very good answer. That is a very good answer from Sevagala Bakuba. Then there is elaborate. Wow. Where have you been, you people? Loss of cultural identity of the place and community. Very good answers there. So I would like to sign out. Thank you so much for being a lively class. You have chosen to be lively towards the end, but I welcome that. Thank you so much. Closing in at a very good point. You have even made me get all the boredom that I had started with. And chose them, okay. So, okay. Thank you so much. May the good Lord continue to bless you. May the Almighty Allah richly and richly bless you all through and protect you against the temptations of the devil. And please take good care of yourselves and be respectful to people around you and your parents. I love you all. I love you always. I look forward to seeing you again when you are healthy and jumping and lively and happy. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I wish you the best. Thank you for attending the lesson.